Awesome. Thanks everybody for joining us today. I am Matt Amundsen, the CMO here at DuploCloud. I'm joined by a wonderful guest today, Mr. Rush Shahani. So, Rush, would you mind introducing yourself and your company to the audience?
For sure, yeah, glad to be here. So I am Rush. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Persana. We at Persana have built the first truly effective GTM agents that are transforming how companies win and find customers. So basically, you can think of it, we have built agents to map out the entire customer journey, right from finding out who your best customers are, to the point where you can actually win this. And the way we do this is, we take in a company's manual workflows and be able to replicate all the boring stuff, all the tedious tasks that were impossible for a human to do, and use AI to help automate that.
Awesome. I love it. Not only impossible, but also, when you're thinking about your
Yeah,
investments in people, it's not exactly the work that you want them to do. So anytime that you get
yeah,
an opportunity to have a platform or a product that can automate and operationalize that work, the better off we all are.
yeah,
Correct?
for sure. Yeah, and I think that gives them the time to actually focus on things that are more strategic and, think about where they can drive the most business value while taking care of all the boring, mundane tasks.
Let's talk a little bit about your career before starting Persona. Like, where were you working? What were
Yeah.
you working on? We'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, me and my co-founder, we met while we were working at LinkedIn.
Nice.
I was working on the search and query formulation team, so spent a lot of time, building machine learning systems, also search systems. And that's where we saw that manual and inefficient lead generation processes were not able to, take into account the AI automation part of it.
Hmm.
But really, the keyword-based search engines were not built for the modern B2B discovery.
Yep.
We saw that one data source was good, but not enough to sort of automate the full customer journey.
Yeah.
If you look at a traditional sales team or a marketing team, they have to start their day, find out who are qualified customers, who should they reach out to, do research on them, is this actually a good lead for them? Is it someone that fits in their business? And keywords search were not, able to help with that. Moreover, they need more sources of data. Like they need to find out the contact information, find out are these people, using phones more, or should you reach out to them by email, or should you DM them on LinkedIn? So we built a machine learning model that can actually do this.
Awesome.
It's kind of like it wasn't just a search problem, but really about how to build AI autonomous agents
Hmm.
that can, think and reason like a skilled sales rep.
Awesome. So, do you take the approach of having multiple agents doing sort of finite work, or do you have like one agent that's capable of doing multiple things?
Yeah, and this is something I personally strongly believe is that we will have a multitude of different agents that are skilled with different tasks. So think of it like, your current company's workflow, right? You're the CMO, right? So
Hmm.
you're the expert with all the CMO related stuff. If you have like a tech question, it would be like a good question to ask your CTO.
Yeah.
So, taking what we've learned about the real world and translating that into AI also leads to similar outcomes, right? Because you want your agents to be able to access the data sources and reason and think like their role. So I strongly believe in this, multi-agent hierarchy that we'll build out, with each agent that is, good at doing a specific task. So in Persona, right, we use AI and agents throughout our workflows.
Yep.
But if people want to do more research and qualifications, they will be using our research agents. If they wanted to kind of do like, prospecting, they would use more of our prospecting agents. So we've built those agents that have access to different data sources and are able to think and reason like their task. And we've done a lot of experimentation on this. And, our customers, based on the data we've seen with our customers, this is kind of the most effective approach. So having, a skill-based agent and more task specific has definitely given our customers much better outcomes.
I totally believe it. I think that there have been not necessarily AI examples of this, but business examples of
Yeah,
this. Like traditionally speaking,
yeah,
the way I've always thought about specifically sales and MarTech, um,
yeah,
sometimes those sales and MarTech tools, whether it's like a sales loft or an outreach or a MarTech tool like a Marketo or a demand base, they seek to stretch into the data space. And generally,
yeah,
what I find is like workflow tools are really good at workflow, data tools are
yeah,
really good at data, but it's almost
yeah,
impossible to build an organization that does both. And so when I apply
yeah.
that same logic to the way I think about AI agents, you know, there was this moment where there was like the sales co-pilot. And I think largely
Mm,
sales co-pilots were ineffective because they tried to
yeah,
do too many different things.
yeah,
And training an agent to do great research or training an agent
yeah,
specifically to understand what's a good email prompt, training
yeah,
an agent to decide when's the right time of day to send to somebody to elicit
yeah,
the best response,
yeah,
to me just makes sense. So, was that
yeah.
a breakthrough for you? How did you come to that conclusion?
Yeah, and I think that's one part of being able to launch these as fast as possible. And
Mhm.
being a startup definitely has its advantages here because we were able to launch these agents quickly and be able to, see how our customers are using them. And we quickly came to the realization that, task-specific agents are the way to go. I'll say one thing interesting here
Yeah.
is that one of our most used features is called the Quantum Persona agent.
Okay.
And this is kind of a researcher agent that can access many different tools. And what we've added on that is an orchestration layer component, so like an AI agent, which figures out which is the best agent to tap into.
Mm.
So, based on the user's question, we're able to route it effectively to the right agent. And that's what's super powerful here, right? You want something to figure out based on the user's natural language question, which agent they should tap into.
Yeah.
So kind of giving you the best of both worlds. And our orchestration layer is a huge component,
Sure.
being able to figure out which data source to tap into, what is the AI agent to use behind the scenes so that we can make it as seamless for the user, and embed it completely in their workflows.
Love that. Love
Yeah,
that. When you were working at LinkedIn, you and your co-founder, did you have an
yeah.
aha moment where you were kind of like, hey, you know, we're building this great tool and every salesperson on the planet likes it, but there's something missing in their tool set, or maybe, you know, it's another screen that they need. What was that aha moment where you decided, hey, this is something I want to go build?
Yeah, so actually me and my co-founder, we were hacking on a side project
Uh-huh.
like long before ChatGPT came out. I've been very early in the large language model space. I've been working on it since 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So, we had access to the early GPT version, so like the GPT-2,
Yeah.
and we were building something to, generate sales emails, and our customers for that side project gave us this insight that it was not just, the email, but really the sources of data that they wanted to
Mm.
capture. So being able to take in all data and context into the LLM is really what's key. And that's going to drive your business forward because it's not so much about, just the prompting layer, but actually what can you feed the large language model, and how do you use reinforcement learning to take the user's feedback and
Yeah.
bring it back in? Because that's when you really deliver business value. So through experimentation, we were able to figure that out and started off with a few customers that were using it. We started doing fine tuning, started ingesting their own internal data, whether they're CRM data, and the combination of CRM data plus third-party data, and building an agent. At that time, they weren't really agents, but taking that and putting it into a prompt and giving them that insight.
Yeah.
And what's really exciting is now we are kind of moving into this phase where not just giving you the insights, but the entire industry is kind of moving towards this, right? It's not just the insight that you're giving your customer, but actually being able to take action on it.
Yeah. So would that trigger
Yeah.
like a different workflow tool, or is that something that's all managed within your app? Would it say, hey, send an email through
Oh
outreach,
yeah.
or would it say, hey, reach out to somebody via LinkedIn?
Oh yeah. So we have all the different data tools in Persona. So I believe we have over 75 data sources. So a lot of different data sources you can connect and link to Persona. So you name it, like whether it's outreach, sales loft.
Hmm.
We also have a native email sender as well, if that's something our customers want to use.
Nice.
So very flexible there. Because we believe that it needs to be embedded in your workflow to be actually useful. So our entire platform is built with this core value prop, right? Being able to connect all your company's data, all the different data tools that you use, and building AI agents on top of that. Because the real value comes in when you're able to bring in that business value.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. Um, I don't mean to be your next VC that wants to work with you, but let me ask you the question:
Yeah.
what's the long term vision? Where do you see the business going? Obviously, you've started here with a number of agents that your customers are already seeing value from, but maybe paint out a 5 to 10 year picture.
Yeah. I see Persona becoming, the industry standard for anything B2B discovery
Yeah.
and qualification powered by our ecosystem of specialized AI agents. I think we touched upon this a little bit, but really building specialized AI agents for each business task. So, no matter what the task is in this GTM and B2B space, we want to have specialized AI agents that are experts at that. So companies can, instantly access a global prospect pool and be able to match with the right prospects or
Mm-hmm.
even talent,
Mm-hmm.
being intelligently matched using semantic search and intent recognition. And at Persona, we built our own embedding search engine,
Mm.
which is what is really exciting. It's
Yeah.
called Persona Vector, and being able to use our proprietary search engine that is powered by our AI embeddings and our search DB, which encompasses these 75 plus data sources. Our agents are sort of grounded using this kind of semantic understanding.
Mm.
And this is what is going to give you that intelligence that is not just faster than humans, but gives you these patterns and opportunities that, people would not be able to discover before.
Yeah.
And that's really the power, right? We're not just gonna make it easier for you to do your work, but really give you these opportunities and patterns that you were not able to capture before.
Sure. Love that. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So I think it's a super exciting future. And, I think it'll really change the way people are doing their job so that they can focus on more of the strategic thinking and be able to, unlock insights and opportunities that they were not able to before.
Love it. Love it. Awesome. Let's switch gears a little bit. I'd love to hear about your journey to raising your first capital, and obviously you and your co-founder, you're working at LinkedIn. You had an idea, you started to hack away at it. When did you make the decision that hey, now's the right time for us to start thinking about raising money?
Yeah, so we actually got into Y Combinator.
Oh,
And
congratulations! That's amazing.
that sort of like propelled our decision to take this full time and go at it because we realized, now was the best time to build this. If it weren't now, there
Hmm.
is no better time to actually
Yeah.
go ahead and build this. So we actually applied really late. I think we applied the week of Thanksgiving, and
Mm.
the applications actually closed in September, so they were closed already. So we applied in Thanksgiving, heard back, I believe, the first week of December. And because a lot of, YC group partners were on vacation, we only got our acceptance, I think, the week of Christmas. So, we quickly like submitted our 2 weeks notice and went full swing into building Persona. And I think YC really also unlocked that access to getting early customers, being
Sure.
right in front of center, giving us those networking opportunities that made it a lot easier for us to really build Persona and do our customer research, be able to quickly iterate, talking to customers and getting our first set of beta customers and proving that our Persona AI agents were, actually working and helping us, really build the first phase of the product.
Tell me about the first time that you put the product in front of a prospect and demoed.
Yeah, so I'd say like, pros and cons, like there were good things and bad things about doing that. I will say I strongly recommend people to, show your product, even if it's as scrappy. I
Yeah.
think our product was really scrappy when we first came out. It didn't have the best UI. But bringing that to customers would help you figure out that loop faster. You want to be able to figure out what's working, what's not working. And that's exactly what happened. Like people were really excited to see us, excited to try us out. But we quickly learned that, we needed to add more data sources. We kind of started out by just ingesting a company's CRM and taking that data. But that wasn't enough. We needed to connect to more data sources. So eventually we went from one data source to two data source to three data source. And now we kind of have like 75 different sources on our platform. So really, I'd say that kind of helped us figure out that the data orchestration layer powered by AI agents was really gonna, drive us forward. So we got that feedback quickly and, went heads down on building the product, but at the same time, constantly doing customer discovery and, going and seeing what our customers were actually interested in.
Yeah.
Because I feel
Nice.
at that time it was still a really new phase. Right now you see AI agent companies doing, all sorts of industries, but at that time it was still really early. So having that kind of insight was super helpful.
Awesome. What was one thing that sort of surprised you about the process of being at YC?
Um, yeah, I'd say that YC was, firstly, it was a really great experience. I think the combination of your peers, um, your group partners, and the community, plus the branding, is definitely
Hmm.
helpful. I will say that towards the end of our batch, I'd say maybe 2, 3 weeks before demo day, we had the SVP crash. So that was
Oh yeah.
it was a little scary because a lot of people around us were really worried, what's gonna happen, how is the industry gonna react? But I think most of our batchmates got that actually made us stronger, We
Hmm.
focused a little bit more on, making sure our value proposition, our market positioning, was set in a right way to future proof us in a way. So I think it was a little jarring, seeing the reactions in the industry. But the good part was that, YC, the demo day timeline really helps you, hit a goal and hit a milestone despite all
Yeah.
these challenges you might see.
Yeah.
It was also, I believe, our YC batch was kind of the last kind of hybrid cohort.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have a lot of in-person meetings. We only had like
Sure.
once a week social kind of gathering.
Yep.
We did miss out on a little bit of the in-person sort of stuff. But the YC community is pretty tight. So even post-batch, we've, really gotten the chance to meet our group partners, meet, our peers from YC. Now that, things are all fully in person.
Yep.
So it's definitely been exciting.
You're the second founder that we
Yeah.
had on here who had an issue with the SVB right as they were like getting their first bit of capital. So that's
Yeah.
seeing a bit of a
Yeah.
pattern here. Um, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Rush, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. For people who may have questions for you, other founders, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, I'd say just add me on LinkedIn. Me and my team, we're pretty active on LinkedIn and happy to help out, whether it's fundraising, whether you guys are interested in, trying out Persona if you have questions. Yeah, just feel free to reach out to me.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome. And if you
yeah.
want to supercharge your sales and marketing teams, go check out Persona. It's a really cool application. So, Rush, again, thank you so much. And stay tuned as we have more stories from more founders from the Spark 100. Thank you so much.
Thanks.